you go straight into the kitchen, put the coffee pot on the stove, and it only takes a few minutes for the air to be filled by the smell of the fresh brewed coffee. The rest, like sleeping bag, toothbrush, you've already packed everything yesterday. So the only thing you have to do now is go on your bike. Outside, it's still really quiet, a bit foggy. After 30 minutes, you have left the suburbs behind you, and the first hill appear. Maybe also the first drops of sweat which trickle down your forehead, but the fresh wind dries them really quickly. After some hours, your watch is telling you you're getting close. A dark green forest appear, and in the middle, a wooden small structure you've almost didn't see. You have arrived. You go out of your bike, and just the only thing you have to do now is light a small fire, rolling out your sleeping bag, and just enjoy the setting sun. You feel alive. You're in nature, and you're getting a bit tired, and sleep in nature, alone, in a shelter by natourli.
Hi, I'm Pirmin.
And I'm Olivia.
We founded natourli to provide overnight stays in the middle of nature. The idea is inspired by Denmark, where shelters have been used for years. A shelter is easy to book online, has a fireplace and a composting toilet. There is room in a shelter, not only for you, but also for your loved ones.
People are drawn back to nature. Especially the staying overnight in the wilderness is an experience that fascinates more and more. However, there are also challenges, for example, wild camping. We have a sustainable alternative. With natourli, you can stay overnight legally in a shelter. This ensures as well a really smaller impact on fauna and flora, and also an awareness how to interact responsibly with nature.
We love the outdoors. Wherever we are cycling on hidden trails, climbing the Swiss Alps, or cooking herbs over a fire. But we do not only like to spend time in nature, we also have the skills and the ability to make natourli a success. For instance, Jonas. He is a professional room planner and knows exactly what it takes to make a shelter site a success. But, and even more important, natourli is not just us. natourli is a whole bunch of people supporting our cause. Shout out to the natourli Pro team for making it possible that we can stand here on stage tonight and win it with, not win it, but with the most votes, hopefully win it, with the most votes of all the projects that are selected.
But we also have plans, if we would win. We have at the moment currently 5 different shelters in the pipeline, which stand as a model that can be replicated in all over Switzerland. And this is also our plan, to have shelters all over our country. And the vision is that you can travel shelter from shelter all over Switzerland and enjoy our beautiful country in a totally new, different way.
Together, let's rethink tourism. Simple and in harmony with nature. We are natourli. Abenteuer natürlich.
Bravo! On point, 4 minutes. So you had another 4 seconds left. That is a major presentation. So we have 2 questions. First, the jury question. So we have to, shall I? Perfect.
Does this work?
Nicola.
Yes. Thank you very much. I really like the introduction, and I really like your project. I like all of those projects that are here tonight. But I have the duty to pose a critical question and to hopefully challenge you. So for me, there's a question of objective. From a tourism perspective, I think this project is great because it adds something to tourism, a new mode of traveling or accommodation, which is nice. I think a lot of tourist organizations are going to be happy if you present them, and I think you're going to have a success, or you're going to be able to feasibly roll it out. However, from a conservation perspective, I do not think it has a big impact, because what we're doing is adding on another way of traveling to the Alps in a very densely populated country where we're unfortunately not Denmark or Finland or the north of Sweden, where there's abundant space to recreate. So the question, besides SAC huts, besides camping and illegal camping and not so illegal camping and bivouacking and hotels, all the classical tourism accommodations, do we really have that much space that we need to add on another form of leisure accommodation? Or are we actually putting too much strain on our ecosystem? Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much for the question. I think, yeah, you said it already correctly. Do we add it, or is it an alternative to something? So in our perspective, it's more like an alternative to things that already happen, like wild camping. So we have different partners and projects where we know that wild camping is an issue, where people are, maybe also especially because of social media, are kind of, yeah, too many people on small room without the right infrastructure. So what we try to do is really provide alternative to that. And our goal is not to go like really to remote new areas. We would like to kind of add shelters to existing fireplaces where human beings are already there.
Thank you. Second questions in the audience. Does anyone have a question? No. Yep, here we go. Oh, maybe have.
Hello.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. I have a question regarding maintenance of the spaces, and also if you have to book them in advance, or how does it work?
Yeah, sure. Good question. Like the system is planned like this. Every shelter has a steward, so a person who is kind of managing the shelter. And we are also developing like a simple booking system. So the idea is you're going to pay 10 francs per night and person, and most of it goes to the steward. And that makes sure that like the durability and the maintenance of a shelter is cared for, yeah.
They will also clean up, and because maybe people will party there and the place will get messy. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people go there and actually like leave their tents even up there, or all their garbage, and so.
Sure, that's an issue, and also not the first time we hear about that. In the end, we think like because we have a booking platform and we know the people who are going there, it won't be that big deal. On the other hand, because a person takes care of the shelter, they also make sure, or they kind of people know there is someone who could be around, so they won't go illegally. And maybe the last point, every person who book a shelter, they kind of agree, we call it with the pact of nature or pact with nature, which is kind of a self-obligation. So you will agree with, we as natourli shelter visitors take care of the nature, won't make loud music and so on.